To solve one-step equations, we use inverse operations. Inverse means opposite. So the inverse of addition is subtraction, and the inverse of subtraction is addition. The inverse of multiplication is division, and the inverse of division is multiplication. So in our first example, 5 is being added to some variable to get 9. We want to get that variable alone. I'm going to separate the left and right side of the equal sign. The opposite of positive 5 is negative 5. 5 minus 5 is 0, so I can cross it off. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So m is equal to 4. I can check this by taking the original equation and substituting my answer in for the variable. So in place of m, I'll put 4. And I see that 5 plus 4 is 9. And since 9 equals 9, and the left and the right side are equal, I know that the answer of m equals 4 is correct. In my next example here, I have some variable x minus 5 equals negative 14. The opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0, so I can cross it out. And I have to add 5 to this side as well. Whatever I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to match it with the other side. All that I'm left with over here is x. And I actually solved this. Negative 14 plus 5 is negative 9. So now I'm going to check this. So I take the original equation. In place of my variable, I put what I got for that variable. So negative 9 replaces x. And now I solve this. Negative 9 minus 5 is negative 14. And since the left and right side are equal, we know that we got it correct. My next one here shows multiplication. When a number and a letter are touching, that's a form of multiplication. So the variable is being multiplied by negative 5. The opposite of multiplying by negative 5 is dividing by negative 5. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. So I can cross that off because 1 times n is still just n. But again, whatever I do to one side, I must do the same to the other. 30 divided by negative 5 is negative 6. Now I'll do my check. I take the original equation. In place of the variable, I'm going to substitute what I got. So this becomes negative 5 times negative 6. I solve this. Negative times a negative is a positive. And since the left and the right side are equal, I know that I got the answer correct. And then my last one here. This shows k divided by 2 equals negative 4. The opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. I'm going to write this multiplying by 2 as 2 over 1, which is the same as just 2. The 2's will cancel out, leaving me just k. Again, whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. Since I multiplied by 2 here, I'm going to multiply by 2 here. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And here is my check. I take the original equation. In place of k, I'm going to substitute what I got for k. So negative 8 divided by 2. I actually solve this side. Negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. And that is equal to the other side, so I know that I got it correct.